Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about the NBA playoff games, and now we're going to be discussing more on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, and then we'll also be talking about John Jones discussing his next fight. Before we do that, though, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question to the top of the list so I can see it, and it also really helps the show. Alrighty.
I just gave you two thumbs up. Faith is like, okay, that's all you're gonna do. You're not gonna. You do realize this is a video show. You need to actually talk.
Okay. All right. So, moving into our next segment, we're going to be talking more on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. So Jake Paul says he has to end Mike Tyson as the summer fight is sanctioned. So Jake Paul and Mike Tyson have been building up their fight with a war of words and ferocious training videos aimed at one another in recent weeks. With the fight recently being sanctioned, Paul suggests he has something bigger to accomplish when he steps into the ring on July 20th. I love Mike. I'm super respectful of him. It's an honor to be in the ring with him, but I have to end it, Paul told USA Today at Formula One's Grand Prix of Miami on Sunday. It's war. All is fair in love and war. I love the guy, but as soon as it turned into a pro fight, one of us has to die, the YouTube star turned boxer added. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation approved the rules for the fight last week. It was sanctioned as a professional boxing match, meaning the rounds will be shorter and the gloves heavier. This will be a professional bout with a referee and judges, and the results will count as part of the fighter's professional records. So it's an actual competitive fight, a spokesperson for the agency told the Associated Press. Paul last fought Ryan Borland in Puerto Rico and won via TKO. He's 9-1 in his professional boxing career, with his only blemish coming against Tommy Fury via split decision. Tyson is 50-6 in his professional career. His last professional fight, which he lost, was against Kevin McBride. Tyson had an expedition bout against Roy Jones Jr. in November of 2020. Paul fought Nate Robinson on that card. So, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. I see this when Faith starts out with a little bit of a laugh and all this stuff. It's like I love it because Faith is about to drop some knowledge. What you got
It's
for
just
me, Faith?
like, it seems like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are like those like toxic exes, and they're trying to do everything possible to like show like, oh, like, look what I'm doing without you, like I'm so much better without you. Like, that's the vibes that I'm getting from like them going and talking to these reporters and saying the things that they're saying, and like recording these like boxing videos and posting them on social media. It just seems like it's just like, hey, look at me over here, like don't forget about me type
Well, you know what though?
thing
Wait
for
a
me.
minute.
That's how I
There
feel.
it is, right there. Okay, that is by design. What you just
Hmm.
said, that last part is by design. They're dropping these videos and things,
Hmm.
and it is exactly what you said. Hey, don't forget the fight is coming up.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget the fight is coming up,
Hmm.
because most people do not buy the pay-per-view until that night.
Hmm.
Granted, this is not a pay-per-view though. This is going to be on
Streaming.
Netflix.
Hmm.
Yes, but they don't watch until that night. So it's releasing all this stuff. So, hey, don't forget, we're fighting. Don't forget, we're fighting. Also, there's been some talk that at one point that the fight could get canceled and
Hmm.
things. Here's what shocked me, Faith. There's something that surprised me, and that's why the fact that they're sanctioning this as a real fight. This is not an exhibition.
Hmm.
That's a big difference. This is not going to be a fun kind of, let's see how things go. No one's going to get knocked out. We're going to set things up. No, this is a real fight, sanctioned in Texas. And I'm surprised that Tyson was able to, at 58, get sanctioned as a
Mm.
fighter, because now you've opened Pandora's box of saying, listen, a 58-year-old fighter can get sanctioned to fight, then a lot of other 58-year-old fighters can get sanctioned
Mm-hmm.
to fight. This now makes it so you're going to be doing regular boxing rules. I think it makes it even scarier for Mike, in my opinion. I'm a big Mike Tyson fan, but I don't give Mike any chance of winning. And as much as I want to see Mike, you have the younger, more athletic fighter, uh, hungrier against a 58-year-old man who's trying to hold on to days gone by.
Mm-hmm.
I'm predicting now a knockout. I'm predicting a knockout, Jake Paul. The only shot I pretty much give Mike, and I love Mike. I don't want to see Mike get knocked out or lose. But I don't see, unless Mike catches him early, first round, maybe second round. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
After that, and the reason why, when you fight, your power is at its peak in the earlier rounds. As the fight goes on, as you get tired, the power goes down less and less and less. The longer this fight goes, the less likely Tyson has a chance of catching Jake Paul. But Jake Paul, being the younger athletic fighter, he can hold his stamina, his power just lasts longer. And you're at your athletic peak at 28,
Mm-hmm.
not at 58. You're in that days gone by. So I am really curious about this. I will be watching. I hope no one gets hurt. I'm going to say it again, Faith. But if my man Tyson catches him,
Tate's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
be
screaming like a little
I'm gonna be
girl.
screaming. You're gonna think it's some of them little old church ladies at the Baptist church dancing in the aisles. That's gonna be me, because I would not. I know you can't picture that, especially with my voice and everything right now, but would love to see this.
Mm-hmm.
If Tyson knocks out Jake Paul, he is forbidden to fight ever again. No matter what, this should be Mike Tyson's last fight
Yes.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he catches him, Mike Tyson's fame goes through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
If he loses, it's just it's over. I would not fight anymore after this.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got Jake Paul winning. You cannot turn the time back at 58. I can catch a fool with one shot, but I can't be going no late round. I don't even get me halfway through the first round. I'm taking a knee. And that's against Faith. That's against you.
Nah.
4'1" over here.
4'11".
Sorry about that, Faith.
Alrighty, well, moving on to our next story, we have Jon Jones discusses his next fight in response to criticism over the back-to-back hiatus. So Jon Jones, the current UFC heavyweight champion, has recently provided updates on his return to the octagon after a period of recovery and controversy. Initially slated to defend his title against Stipe Miocic at UFC 295 in November last year.
Stipe Miocic.
Oh, yeah. At UFC 295 in November last year, Jones was sidelined due to a torn pectoral muscle.
Wait, that wasn't Stipe. He didn't fight Stipe in the last one.
This is what this says.
Nope, he did not. He did not. He did not fight Stipe. So this article made a little slip up. He was scheduled to fight Stipe
Mm-hmm.
But apparently that fight's not happening. And so now, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to change your whole thing up, but they're a little off in this article. Where's this article from anyway?
Uh,
I
let's.
just wanted to make sure I cited my sources if I'm going to call them out for making things
M
wrong.
MSN.
Oh, MSN slipping up like that. Wow. All right. So go ahead, keep on.
Alrighty, so following his recovery from injury, Jones responded to fan inquiries on social media about his return, indicating that he has a scheduled date, but opting to let UFC President Dana White make the official announcement. Despite requests for him to disclose the date, Jones clarified that it's currently a verbal agreement without specifics. However, Jones faced a setback when he became embroiled in controversy early this month during a visit with allegations made against him by a drug-free sport employee. The employee claimed that Jones had taken her phone and made threats, prompting Jones to respond with the video accusing her of unprofessional behavior. Looking ahead to potential future matchup, Jones expressed interest in facing Alex Pereira.
Oh, yes, very good.
After his anticipation fight with, but you said that didn't happen with
Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic, considered the greatest heavyweight of all time, from Cleveland, Ohio. Everyone talked about LeBron as the one that brought a championship to Cleveland. Stipe brought a championship a year before LeBron did, just to making sure everyone knows who Stipe is. Put some respect on his name. Okay.
So Jones' return to the octagon remains eagerly anticipated by fans, with his potential matchups generating considerable interest and speculation within the MMA community.
Okay. Jon Jones is the most talented, greatest fighter in mixed martial arts history. I'm going to say in martial arts history, Jon Jones is the GOAT. Okay? He is the greatest to ever do this. But I'm at the point where I'm thinking like, man, this is going to upset some MMA fans. Probably upset Jon Jones if he saw this. I would like to see Jon Jones start thinking about retiring, not fighting more. And it's one of those things where Jon Jones, when he had his first fight come back, and the guy's slipping my mind who he fought, but he had been out for an incredibly long time, like over 2 years when he fought. And that fight was done in like a minute, 2 to 3 minutes. That fight was over and he won. From there, he ended up getting injured. He was supposed to fight Stipe, ended up getting injured. I think he hurt his shoulder, and he's been out an extended period of time here. So when you look around, Jon really hasn't fought in like 40 years. And before that, he had a long layoff again. Fighters don't get better, ladies and gentlemen. They do not get better by not fighting. You don't in last 6 years, 7 years, Jon Jones is averaging like a fight every 2 years. That you can get away with that when you're 25, 26, 27. But you are not going to keep getting away with it as you get older, flying too close to the sun like Icarus out there when you're fighting at the heavyweight division. Mm-hmm. The guys hit too hard. If you slip up in the heavyweight division, you can get put to sleep. And that's what I worry about with Jon Jones. Not that I don't worry about somebody being better than Jon Jones. I don't think that person exists. I'm going to say it again. I don't think there's a person alive that is more skilled than Jon Jones, that is better than Jon Jones. Make that clear. But I think Jon Jones is ripe for the taking because of the lack of activity, the injury to his shoulder, all the drug suspensions. He has not had a consistent run of fights in a very long time. And that makes, if a fighter being off a year, people talk about ring rust,
Mm-hmm.
ring rust, ring rust. If a fighter's been out 2 years, it's even worse. But when you say a fighter's only fought maybe 3 minutes in the last 4 years, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I think it has been. Do me a favor, Ryan. If you could look up when John Jones's last fight was, the last two fights, if you can find that. If you can, I understand. You cannot just keep going these long periods of inactivity. I don't think there's going to be a fighter beat John Jones. I think John Jones' activity is going to beat him. And these are things you can't get back. It's not one of those things where it's like, well, even if he got caught, he would get him in the rematch. When you get older and you start letting your skills slide and you're not fighting on a regular basis, it's hard to get those skills back. The most skilled fighter of all time, yes, John Jones is,
Mm-hmm.
but he's just been super, super inactive. And it's not like John Jones has had the cleanest lifestyle. He's not out there eating kale and drinking protein shakes. John Jones is out there living life. Living John Jones, we've talked about some of the drug allegation, the steroid allegations,
Mm-hmm.
the issues with criminal activities. I don't mean any harm by saying that because I'm just stating the facts. John Jones and Anderson Silva are my two favorite fighters to ever walk the planet. So when I say this about John Jones, and I say this and tell you that I'm concerned, I'm telling you this by clarifying, I'm not bad mouthing Jones. Jones is my favorite. John Jones and Anderson Silva are my two favorite fighters in history.
Mm-hmm.
Were you able to find his
Yeah,
thing?
so his last one was March 4th, 2023 with
Mm-hmm.
Cyril Gain.
Cyril Gahn was his last
Gone,
fight,
yeah.
yes.
But before that, he hadn't done one in 3 years because before that it was February 8th, 2020 with Dominic Reyes.
Yes. Okay. So he fought Reyes in 2020. He
Mm-hmm.
fought 3 minutes with Gahn in 2023. Since 2020, he has been in the ring for about 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2020. 2020, Faith, I was wearing a mask, living in California,
Mm-hmm.
worried about a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
doing a show. I'm doing a show with Faith while living in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take that much time off. You cannot be that inactive and still stay on the mountaintop.
Mm-hmm.
You slide. Every single month, you are not training. Every single month, you do not fight. You can go in there and practice and things of that nature. But until you're getting real world work in the ring, you don't simulate a fight. You have to have that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my concern with John Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into our Keeping the Faith Feel Good stories for the week. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.